Today, on the early morning show, are you afraid to speak your mind online? You're canceled. Let's cue the rooster and get this show started.
Every time I need that shit, devil make another.
Hey man, if you got something that you believe in and you believe that you can do it and nobody else do, just go for it. It's your life.
My life is moving fast, I gotta slow it down. Yeah, now I got it, they all come around. But when I ain't have it, they nowhere to be found. Yeah, I had to stick with the ones who stay down. And now a lot of people say I changed on them, because I'm whipping in the range on them. I don't think I'm acting different, I just found out that these folks ain't in my interest. And you ain't got a lot of kick it. I messed around and pulled a whole foe up. Banging zero, I roll up. I don't do it, boy.
Good morning and welcome to the early morning show. Today we're talking about a favorite subject of guys across the entire web, and that is censorship, or better known as mensorship. The censoring of men and their comments and their likes and dislikes online. Now, I hope today's information gives you enough to go at to understand why you're being censored this way, and what, if anything, you could do about it. Now, I used to be on CBS Radio. Years ago, I had a stint talking on TV. And one thing I learned about whether it's radio or TV, there's what you call lag time. So live news has a short lag time, and radio has a short lag time. It could be 15 seconds, it could be 30 seconds. Now, if you do not comply with FCC regulations, which prevent you from saying things like shit and the rest of the curse words, any kind of sexual body parts online, the station will not be censored. They could be fined hundreds of thousands of dollars just because you said the word one time, you see. And so when I was on radio or TV, we are taught not to say stuff like that in advance. It doesn't matter which station you listen to, unless it's privately owned and not controlled by the FCC, you won't hear that stuff. So I already know why YouTube won't allow these curse words and stuff. But I'm going to tell you why they won't allow it. See, social media didn't always have the censorship. Social media did not always have a censorship. And it's not readily coming from the government. You remember, they're a platform, not a news agency. Now, what happened though? What happened? How did social media like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter become such censorships of men? You know, and the things that they want to say. Or anybody. Why did it become so strong with censorship? Now, YouTube started back in the year of 2005. If you guys started back then, you know there was no such thing as censorship on YouTube. It just didn't occur. But there's one thing that happened. 2 years later, from 2005 to 2007, YouTube took on its first sponsorship or commercials. They used to start with little taglines at the bottom of the screen, then they grew to more commercials. Facebook the same way. Facebook started in 2004. See? And they had no censorship, 2004. 3 years later, Facebook took on its first commercials in 2007. The censorship began. All right, it's a pattern here, if you catch on. Twitter started in 2006. No censorship. 4 years later, 2010, Twitter took on commercials. And the great censorship war began. Now, censorship is based on ad revenue. That's all. It's not based on whether you're a male and she's a female, whether you're Republican and one's Democrat, whether one's light and one's dark. It's just based on ad revenue. Ad revenue. Get this in mind. Ad revenue. So if you're a man out there and you're being censored, it's based on ad revenue is the one thing. Now, on the planet, there's approximately 8.5 billion people. Some people, give or take, says 7.5. Some people say 8.5 billion people. Now, the odd thing about it, on the planet, we are half and half. There's about the exact number of women as there are men on the planet. Women a little bit more. But throughout this entire universe, it's a half and half thing. Now, the reason you don't get respect as a male online because males represent the silent majority online. and in the world. Women represent the loud majority. So even in the United States, the genders are separated half and half. In America, you have roughly between 325 million to 385 million people. Half of that is male, half of that is female. Okay? Now, females speak their mind. Males remain silent. Okay? So males have what's called self-censorship. Now, listen, self-censorship. Things like guys are saying online, we better not say that because we'll get in trouble. But women have no kind of gumption to do that. They just speak their mind. It's not a positive. They just don't do that. Males try to say more cordial. So it's sort of like a big brother, but we're doing it to ourselves. Now, with the self-censorship, women even speak their mind in public. So where a small guy wouldn't go against a Lou Ferrigno or a bodybuilder, a woman would stand in a big guy's face and like, you suck. You shouldn't do this, and say that in his face. Now, it's not primarily because he won't hit her back, which he won't. But they go for stuff like that. If somebody bothers them online, a company, they try to boycott that company. See, males won't do that. Males won't destroy companies. They won't write them letters. They won't pick it out in the street. And they won't face that big guy with a gun or without. They won't face him. So that self-censorship that we have, those companies online, the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, they appreciate that. They appreciate that you shut your mouth so they can service her because she is running her mouth. She's a loud speaker. So they're only going to service who is loud. Okay? So if you want to be quiet, that's fine. They have to service you. So we're talking about a silent majority, which is men, half of the population, and a loud majority, which is women. And they're only going to serve the loud majority. Let's go to the next thing. Now say, remember, censorship is based on ad revenue. Whoever spends the most money gets the less censorship. Now, it said that women represent 70 to 80% of the sales driven in the United States. Now, that doesn't mean that's 70 to 80% of all their money. Males buy products too. But women have their own income, and women that's married have their husband's income. So they go out and do more of the shopping or shopping online. And so advertisers believe that women are somebody to cater to. Let me give you an example. Now, I said censorship is based on ad revenue. So did you know the average TV commercial that you watch, and it's 30-second commercial, the cost of that commercial is $104,000 for just 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Those commercials that sell to women because they want to sell them products at the store or wherever they go to, the sauna, the massage, whatever it is. They're trying to sell them products. They're not even trying to sell the shows. When they first invented the show soap operas, those soap operas were to sell soap. That's why they had the word soap operas. They were trying to sell soap like Ivory and Dove and stuff like that. And so those manufacturers came up with a slick deal to make a little short video on TV, became soap operas. So in the middle, they could make a commercial and sell her the soap. Okay? So today, the average commercial costs $104,000 for one 30-second commercial. Now, let's jump to the Super Bowl commercial. The average Super Bowl commercial for the same 30 seconds costs $5.25 million. Now, I said women drive 70 to 80% of those sales. Now, there used to be a time when they honored men that way. And that was just all the way up to liberation, where women went to get their own jobs, and so they focused on her. They surrendered men. If you watch TV at the time in the past, males dominated commercials. They had women looking stupid on the commercials, males looking smart. See, today they just flipped it. So they left with her, okay? So they said she has her own money and she has your money. So their respect went that way. Now, I explain again, censorship is based on ad revenue. So if you are a male, you notice yourself. Now, people go with the money. Gillette made a mistake with men. Remember that Gillette, the best a man can get? They did the commercial that was an insult to men. They tried to call men violent, men tough, men raising children to be oppressing against women. It's a famous ad that you cannot motivate somebody to buy a product that either puts them down, belittles them, or talks about them negatively. So Gillette made a mistake. I don't care who did that ad, they made a mistake. And so many guys pull their money out of Gillette products and out of Gillette stock. And the company is still struggling today to come back. So that's why when you have a YouTube ad, Facebook, or Twitter, and they deem that their customers 70-80% females, they will not insult her for you. Just like the Gillette ad, they will not insult her for you. So if their commercial is going to run on your YouTube video and you say something derogatory about females, then it will be banned. It'll be demonetized. They might withdraw it completely. And they'll send you a little letter why they did it. Because their only censorship is not based on your constitutional right to free speech. That doesn't even really go online. You have a constitutional right to speak, but not to speak on somebody's platform. So you always got to follow within those silly rules. Like I said, I used to be on radio. We knew before the radio went live that you can't say the word shit. You can't say F you. You can't say anything like that. That's why YouTube has algorithms now to catch the words I just said and demonetize the video. But I'm not in it for just the monetary portion. I'm in it to help males. So like I said before, censorship is just based upon ad revenue. And what happened is people like YouTube, people like Facebook, people like Twitter, people like Instagram, or whatever it is, they decided to become ABC, CBS, and NBC. Because those companies have showed them for at least the last 60 plus years how to make money from Tide, Procter & Gamble, Chico sticks, peanut butter and jelly. They wanted that funds. They wanted those funds. So they knew that their female customers don't like when you insult them. So those companies, when they came over to YouTube, they said, we want to advertise Coca-Cola on your channel. Now let me tell you what our female customer does not like. You will not have people who do videos that say this. You will not have videos that say that. That's why even on our channel, when you write me a letter or when you write us a quote under like this video, if you put the word woman in your sentence, YouTube will blot it out immediately. A lot of people think that we stop those posts. We don't. We encourage you to write as much as possible. But the algorithms of YouTube are so bad now. If you say anything negative about women, if you say the word woman, you say the word liberation, you say the word feminization, you say the word nounization, the algorithms will pick that up and will remove those posts. So a lot of times you guys have great things to say, and I can see part of it, but the rest of it they have blotted out immediately. Some people say some of the nicest stuff, and they blot it out. It's not even negative. It's not even sexist, and they blot it out. So remember, because males represent a silent majority, they will never get the respect as one woman standing up and saying, we should boycott Tide because they allowed a negative male to be on the staff. See, if men did that, things would change. Now, they fear that males will change because males are aggressive or they have a force, like pitchforks in the street and bonfires. They don't have to do that. But in society, it's funny, that's the only way things change. You might have noticed with the Black Lives Matter, when things got negative in the street, what happened? A lot of laws change. A lot of local police chiefs and mayors and governors and senators in D.C. and congressmen that got on one knee. You couldn't get those people to move over 100 years. And because something negative happened. See, if males do something negative, there'll be a change. If females say something in a passive way, there'll be a change. See, I'm not encouraging any of that. But what I encourage you to do, if you have a problem with Facebook, if you have a problem with Twitter, if you have a problem with Instagram, you can write those companies. You see, they all have a home-based headquarters. There's an address for them. And you write it directly to the chief executive officer of that company. And you tell your friends to write them. Don't just do that online. It's going to go to a secretary and ask him to stop that. You represent 50% of their audience. Here's the last fact before I leave you this afternoon and we move to something else. Way back when women were really not allowed to smoke, before the 20s, and it was not sexy to see a woman smoke, but somebody in the advertising agency with the cigarette manufacturer said, you know what? We are servicing only half of our audience. We're servicing only half our audience. So they did a slick ad press to start promoting cigarettes to women because they wanted 100% of their audience, not just half. It was a long struggle to get there, But you can with cigarettes like Virginia Slims and stuff like that. You've come a long way, baby. That sort of thing. As if males oppressed the women. They oppressed them. They didn't give them the cigarettes. Don't blame it on the street guy. But anyway, give us your comments. Tell us what you think. And I hope that this helped you. Remember, what I learned on radio, you can't say what you want to say. Why? Because the FCC? Yes, that's radio. FCC will fine a radio station $10,000, $100,000 just for saying the word SHIT. When you get online, on YouTube, it's not that way. You could say that curse word. The FCC doesn't regulate them because they're a platform in that sort of way. But they're manufacturers that make the products like Coca-Cola, Sprite, and Twizzler and stuff like that. They don't want to put their commercials in between you saying that. You see? So they'll censor you that way. And then another way, if you say something on your site that does not honor women, they'll demonetize you. They'll buffer you. They'll slow you down. They won't advertise your video, that sort of thing. So it's been great talking to you guys this morning. Stick around. We got some good stuff coming up. We got in the man's kitchen. We're in the man's bartender. But make sure you patronize this site. We need your patronization. At the bottom of the screen, I'll put a link to my book, the MGTOW book, or Men Going Their Own Way. And go to Amazon, get that book. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Because I'm whipping.
It's 5 o'clock on a planet somewhere, and we're about to get our drink on. Welcome to the Man's Bartender. Today on the Man's Bartender, we're making a cranberry cosmopolitan. Come join us. Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to the Man's Bartender. Today we're doing a Grand Cosmopolitan. It's different than a regular Cosmopolitan. This one's going to involve a little bit of vodka, a little bit of Grand Marnier, some cranberry juice, and some lime juice. All those things we're going to shake together in a barrel shaker. Remember, like I said, barrel shaker, half full of ice. The purpose of the ice in that shaker is you want to mix the ingredients of the alcohol to things like the juice. You want all that to meld together. Just by themselves, they will not. So that's what you use the barrel shaker for. So you want the ice to go from one end to the next, one end to the next, just to mix that stuff up and to chill at the same time. It does not matter the style that you're shaking something. Whether you do it in front, we do it lower, higher, behind the head, one hand, hit with elbow, it don't matter. Okay? Unless you're going out to be a professional bartender, that's not going to matter. This is just to have fun. Invite your friends over. You got plenty of alcohol, like I show you each time on here. It's not even to get drunk. Maybe you get buzzed on it, but you be able to talk and you have a great time. Okay, so let's get to it. So the first thing we want to do with the barrel shaker, we're going to add about equal parts of the Grand Marnier and the vodka. Since we have two glasses here, and those are either champagne or wine glasses. So it doesn't matter. Okay. Like I said, it's going to be 2 persons. So that is 4 ounces of the vodka. Looks like we're running out of that. We got to get some more of that. Remember, if you want to donate to the channel, that's some of the stuff we buy. And we're going to do about equal parts of the Grand Marnier, the same 4 ounces. Now to that, we want to add the juice from about a half of lime is good, you know. That's why we had that grovelly noise. We want the juice from half a lime. There you go, nice and easy. What you do is cup it, just let it run. If you make a mess, who cares? You just roll around your hand, squeeze, roll and squeeze, let up, squeeze. It always do better if you let up the squeeze and roll it slightly. roll it slightly. There we went. All right. Now, that's good. Okay, now we take the cranberry juice, pour that in. And when it's called mixed drinks anyway, that's what mixed drinks do. Mixed drinks are just for guests, they're for parties, they're having a good time. It's not about getting drunk. If you want to get drunk, you can just straight from the bottle. You wouldn't have to mix it. To mix it like they have the modern day coolers, that's the reason. All right, look at that, round. Look at you getting cold already. Now make sure you always hold it, because if you ever split the two parts, you're going to be wearing it. And this is a nice white shirt. I sure would want to wear this. But we're trying to mix it almost about a minute. Okay? If you want a good workout routine, that's the way to do it. And we're done. Okay. Take that top off. Strainer's already there. Two. Ho 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 ho! If you could only be here now. As always, invite your guest over to you guys. Yeah. It don't get no better than this. So remember, go to the liquor store. That's why they have all those bottles there. It's not like when you were a kid, you say, hey, Dad had a drinking habit, Mom had a drinking habit. They drank right from the bottle. You can mix that stuff a million ways from Sunday and enjoy yourself, enjoy your friends. You might get buzzed, but you won't get drunk. Okay? So stick around. We're coming right back. Ooh, we got something good out of Man's Kitchen today. Don't go nowhere. I will. Love you guys. Until I'll be right back. Oh. I have to get rid of this. I'm just going to pour down my mouth. I hope to see you back next time on The Man's Bartender. Join me each week, and we're going to be making some great drinks, some crazy drinks, and stuff that you can prepare for your friends at a party where it looks like you've been a bartender for a long time. Today on The Man's Kitchen, we're having Reese smoked oysters with cottage cheese. Come join us. Hello guys, and welcome to The Man's Kitchen. Today we're doing protein. We're doing smoked oysters. Now today we're going to use Reese, their smoked oysters, and these are the large ones. You can get them from just about any store. I got these on Amazon.com because they have the smaller ones and these are the larger ones. Now, oysters has about 7 essential nutrients that your body needs. Okay? So what you do is it's best to have them nice and hot, toasty. I always thought. So in this pan right here is some hot water. And so I would put them down in that hot water, just like that. That was warm up on the oven until it's hot. Now along with that, we're going to do some large curd cottage cheese. So remember, the oysters have 7 amino acids that your body needs. And we're going to do some more with this yogurt. A large curd is much better than a small curd because at least you can taste it. Now they're making a good combination together. Yogurt and cottage cheese. It's just, trust me, it's like when you was a kid, you know, with your brother or your family, and they mix candy with corn chips or something like that, and the combination is just excellent. I don't know what it is. Okay, so we have that there. Now, it doesn't take long for the oysters to get hot enough. So you don't want those in there forever. Just long enough that they get hot. around a little bit. We hope you're enjoying the show today. If you had any comments on that first section that we had today, the censorship online. It's amazing. And to find out, it's not what a lot of people would have thought. Like I said before, I worked in professional radio, I worked for CBS Radio, worked for other stations, been on TV, and there's always something behind that. It's not as cut and dry as you might would think. All right, so that should be enough, one would hope. So we go ahead and get that out of there. Yep, that water's plenty hot. Go ahead and get that out of there. Go ahead and open it. Now this is good meal on the go for guys if you don't have a lot of time. You just want to get something that you can eat real quick. Get rid of that. And the good thing about this is you do not have to, you could pour that juice out. We just sit it there. Give her a dab. That's good. Get some cottage cheese. Those two combinations together, especially when those oysters are hot, you can't beat it. You really can't beat it. So go out and try today. It does matter which company it is. Like I said, this is the Reese company. There's like 3 companies that make smoked oysters. If you get them at some place like a dollar store or something like that, it's not going to be real good quality. Because you always have knockoffs. It's like a little miniature one, doesn't taste so good. But these do taste good. Give it a try. The right kind of cottage cheese, not that low class cottage cheese. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go nowhere. Stick around. I'm going to eat. Slide. On manhood. Today, a jealous woman who wanted a man to suffer a little cooked him a pizza earlier this month that police say she confessed to lacing with Taro ant killer. For those of you who don't know about the product Taro ant killer, it is a bait for ants. The ants consume large quantities of the bait and then return to the nest and share it with the rest of the colony. Now, this process can take from just a couple of days to several weeks, depending on the size of the colony. Now, each ant that consumes the bait will die within 24 to 48 hours. Now, you might be asking, is it harmful for humans? But taro has borax in it. Borax, the active ingredient of taro and liquid ant bait, is a natural ingredient that has a low level of toxicity for humans, but it is deadly to ants, and not as much to humans. Now, this man ended up in a hospital extremely sick, and she ended up extremely in jail, arrested and charged with attempting to kill or injure a person with poison. Idiot. Now, she served him this potentially deadly meal in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. And investigators say they found evidence on Emily Powell's cell phone, oh boy, here we go again, that she had researched the use of ant poison on people. Now, if you watch our program Killer Wives, which comes out here each and every Sunday, you would know that girlfriends and wives who wish to do their men harm research that harm online first. I don't know why. You're an idiot. Now, whether it is on their home computer or their cell phone, they do it. Don't ask me why. Now, my question to these women is, do you get the internet or television where you're from? Because in each one of these cases, the investigators are going to go after that source of information first. And with the unceasing amount of stories this way, you would think one of them would learn. One of them would just catch the hint. But why did she do it, you might ask? Court records said 25-year-old Powell's motive was jealousy. Jealousy after she suspected the man with whom she wanted a relationship was still talking to a former girlfriend. So she's stuck on somebody who's stuck on somebody else. A criminal complaint says that on the night of August the 14th, Powell told a trooper during an interview that she was at her father's house in Alderson, where she allegedly made one cheese pizza for her children, which she had no poison on that one, and a separate pepperoni pizza for the victim. She said she put a quarter-size amount of ant killer on his pizza because she just wanted him to suffer a little. Now, the criminal complaint said a Lewisburg police officer told a trooper the man came to the police department on August 14th and was throwing up violently. He said Powell gave him an already open bottle of Gatorade to drink, and he became ill after drinking it. Also, a court record said the man was treated at Greenbrier Valley Medical Center, where medical personnel said he had symptoms consistent with being poisoned with borax or borate. See, so that's what I'm saying. A lot of these women, don't you read books? Don't you see the television? Hospitals already have the test for these type chemicals. Now, moving on. State police said that the man reported he looked at Powell's phone and saw a search history for how toxic is clear liquid ant killer. The man also told a trooper that Powell called him at one point and said she was promised $200,000 from the man's former girlfriend and another man to kill him. He claimed Powell told him that the man drove to Beckley and obtained a liquid derived from a mushroom, which he gave her in a blue pill bottle, and she put the liquid in the Gatorade the man drank. And that's what the complaint said. Court records said the man also reported that he was traveling from Virginia on August the 20th when a truck bumped him from the rear and two people in the truck ordered him to get out of the vehicle. The man said he pulled out his own gun and fired a shot at the two people. He said he was then struck in the back of the head, but he managed to get out and run towards a guardrail. The man reported he then saw two people leave the scene. So it wasn't the first time they were gunning for this dude. Some of these girls, you got to watch out who you're dealing with. Now, later he said he received a message from Powell who asked him, "Did you get your truck?" The man said he spoke with Powell by telephone and she said she didn't know who was in the truck, but they got the same deal as she did, as if it was a hit on his life. The complaint said the man reported Powell told him the plan was to take him to a cave in Fort Spriggs. They were going to kill him. State police said Powell denied in the first interview that she tried to harm the man, but said she later admitted to putting poison on the pizza. Powell was arraigned in Greenbrier County Magistrate Court and was released on a bond of $5,000. I wouldn't release that girl on $5,295.60. When you're doing stuff like that, you are straight crazy. Now, stick with us. In a minute, we're going to show you a preview of Killer Wives, the show that comes out every Sunday on this channel. And it shows you where wives who promise to love, honor, and cherish just forgot about all that and try to kill their husbands. And most of these marriages are 3 years plus, some 15 years plus, some 18 years plus. Stick around. We'll be right back.
And now, we bring you Killer Wives, Episode 14, Snake Oil. These are the case facts against Margaret Bruton, who shot and killed her own husband. Isn't trust a bitch? Las Vegas, Nevada, made famous for celebrity shows featuring Celine Dion, Wayne Newton, and for the murder of one Mr. Ronald Bruton.
Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, you have a callback for 86 into Central? Negative K, nothing further, just see the cabbie on the corner.
I care less about what you think of me and more about what I think of me. Abundance coming easily, I'm tapped into that frequency. What you think of me ain't none of my business. What you think of me ain't none of my. What I spark don't get you lit, so why you give a shit? Talking out your ass, we revoke your membership. Falling off the cliff, hope you niggas get a grip. It's enough to go around if you tune into the sounds. Tap into the universal laws to get it all. You already have it in you, but you hold it and you stall. We ain't gotta die to see heaven, we can live it. If you want something, gotta be willing to give it. Not for the return, purely for the feeling. Take some time to get a line of structures that we building. Expansion we increase cause we have to. Thank God every day and your mama cause she had you. She really didn't have to, you here now. Make the best of what you see and what you hear now. Got into the driver's seat, you gotta steer now. Safe trip, picking love over fear now. I care less about what you think of me and more about what I think of me. Abundance coming easily, I'm tapped into that frequency. What you think of me ain't none of my business. What you think of me ain't none